welcome to Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. So today, guys, what I'm going to be sharing with you is just a little bit of insight and perspective on the Mars through Sagittarius transit. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I really honestly think that there's something extremely powerful that's going to be transforming through this actual transit itself. Not only are there some really powerful aspects that Mars is going to be making to other planets during this movement through Sagittarius, there is also a sense of new beginnings that will be emerging as well through this movement of Mars through Sagittarius. So that's the reason why I'm creating the video, and just to kind of like share some perspectives on that experience, especially for our collective evolution and individually for ourselves as well. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys quickly before I go ahead and do that is just to let you know that I've got all my astrology services on my website, and if you're looking for soul-centered guidance sessions, please come over to simonvorster.com and check out what service I have available over there for you. And also, if you're interested in learning astrology yourself, definitely check out the online astrology school that I've created. And there's a lot of information in that actual school itself with all the videos and stuff, so you can actually teach yourself to do this as well, which is great because it's self-empowerment in that way. Okay, so yeah. All right, well, the first thing that I want to do is kind of like share a bit of teaching, share a bit of information on the nature of the archetype of Sagittarius, so that you can have a better perspective of what you're actually dealing with when this Mars transit's coming through and how to better handle this energy. So one of the things that I want to open up with Sag is that Sag correlates to the idea of our sense of connection to the cosmos. Essentially, how we are reflecting to us the nature of how we go about finding our truth, recognizing where we belong within this cosmos and how we actually go about that process, integrating into ourselves the relationship that we have intuitively within ourselves, and how we develop that intuition by experiencing a totality of things. Okay, so Sag correlates specifically to that, and what's actually happening is that deep down, emanating from the archetype of Scorpio, I've essentially developed a sense of there's something deeper going on here, and I must belong to something. And so that search begins as we start to find a philosophy that works for us. And the way that this actually happens for us is that we inwardly experience the nature of creation. And this inward experience that we have becomes, in a sense, our intuitive understanding. You know, we experience something directly, and we have this direct experience of whatever we experience. So, for instance, if you watched a musical, for instance, and you watched a certain experience happen over there, or you drove a new fancy car, or you wrote a wonderful story. All those experiences correlate to something how you inwardly experience the nature of creation, and it becomes an aspect of yourself. And as you progressively experience more of the truth, more of the totality of creation, the more you collect experiences that you inwardly within yourself become awake to. And the final sort of layer to this process is that the totality of all of these collective experiences share with you a way in which you see the world. So there might be something as you were driving, for instance, that you developed an understanding of how traffic works, for instance. You know what I'm trying to say? Or when you were writing this wonderful novel, or this book, or this poetry, whatever, you recognize the truths that are inherent in the archetype of writing and communication. And it becomes how you communicate, it becomes how you see the world, it becomes how you express your truths. So it's that development within our truth and our search for it that is inherent within the Sagittarius archetype itself, okay? And then, of course, at the same time, which is so beautiful, is that you have the centaur, which is essentially the man connected to the horse. And so this is really a deep spiritual teaching that is reflected in the Sagittarius archetype, is that it's inherent that we as human beings are connected to nature. And so therefore Sagittarius correlates to the natural laws that exist within creation. Not man-made ideas, not man-made concepts, but the natural laws that they exist without us even being on Earth. In other words, the natural cycles. The moon moves around the Earth at a certain period of time and affects these things over here. The gestation period of animals as they're waiting for their children, their new offspring to be born. You know, those natural cycles that exist that we as human beings don't think up of and then say this is how it must exist. It's something that inherently exists without our presence even being here. And so the Sagittarius archetype, through that centaur, reflects how man and animal is connected, that natural instinctual connection. And it's so beautiful because there is a natural trine between Aries, our instinct, and Sagittarius, and that reflects that connection. And then there's also the connection to Leo, of course, again, which reflects to us that destiny, that specialness, that attention that we have. But I'm going to go a little bit onto that a bit later. But what I wanted to share with you now, as I've mentioned to you the deeper perspectives of Sagittarius, is that Mars's movement through Sagittarius is going to be making connections to Chiron, it's going to be making connections to Neptune, and because a large part of this process is connecting to your intuitive truth, Mars will be creating and developing the new evolutionary cycles that will be inherent with our relationship to spirit, our relationship to our intuitive center, who we are, where do we belong within this creation. And there's two ways that this is going to manifest. We're going to either deepen our awareness in other words, to a sense of who we are, our connection to Mother Earth and such, and become more natural and become more in sync with the natural biorhythms that exist within us. Or we're also at the same time going to be completely aware of the disconnect that there is relative to natural law and relative to obviously our relationship to Mother Gaia in itself. So there's going to be these two very, very fundamental experiences that are going to be happening and manifesting through this square that Mars is going to make to Neptune, and then of course Chiron as well. And Chiron will definitely reflect to us that illusion of separateness. And that's essentially what's actually I'm trying to explain over here in this experience, is that Mars will be pushing all the dynamics that will show us these illusions that we have that are essentially showing us that we're separate from Mother Earth, we're separate from nature. Okay, and that there's a crisis essentially within this experience. And with Mars moving through this as well, creating these dynamics, touching Neptune, making us aware of that deep connection that we have to spirit, but also at the same time showing us the illusions of separateness. And then when it hits Chiron, it's going to do the same thing, and we're going to really, really get the opportunity to see these wounds that have essentially been plaguing our consciousness for such a long period of time. And I feel that's this recent full moon in Pisces, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the video, please check it out on the channel. There's a lot of information there about the nature of integrating spirituality into our lives. So check that out. And then, like I said, and also read the article that's attached to that video. Again, that's that Mars making that square to Chiron will bring up all these issues, these things, these wounds. And we'll get an opportunity to heal through that experience. And it does mean integrating. It does mean aspecting and understanding the nature of all of our creation and integrating within ourselves, and not recognizing that we need to leave our physical bodies to experience the non-physical. It's actually the other way around. So check out that YouTube video as well. That's the full moon in Pisces. It gets a lot of information on that, okay? Because this Mars square that is going to bring to the surface all of those insights. We're going to get that opportunity. So make sure you check that video out. And then after that, guys, Mars is then going to make this beautiful trine to Jupiter, and obviously the connection to Uranus. And it's going to make this fire trine. And I wanted to show you guys over here this fire trine experience. Okay, the fire trine where we have Aries essentially is our instinctual nature, we're new beginnings, and we have Leo where it begins to our consciousness begins to make an awareness of our special destiny, and then we link that special destiny to the search of our truth, and then it becomes again our instinctual reaction. So this fire trine that's actually going to be made on around about the 25th of September, right up until maybe the 10th of October, you know, it's going to be making this thing, and we're going to get this opportunity to really spark, really ignite the nature of our destiny, as it were. And it's really important to recognize that as we heal ourselves with this Mars square Neptune and Mars square Chiron experience, we can take the opportunity for this beautiful fire trine to really activate something deep within us. But it's so important that we connect back to our center, we become more awakened to who we are. And the way that you do that is by removing the veils of separation, by embracing the totality of things, by embracing the idea of creation itself being all connected, that we are all connected in that way, and that your truth, your intuitive experience, and this is what I wanted to bring on to next, that our intuitive experience is linked with the diversity of many other truths. See, Sagittarius's polarity in this case is Gemini. So it is very important to be recognizing the integration of the diversity of truths, so that you don't project your own truth onto another person and say it is the totality of it, i.e. religion. So again, this experience, this invitation to recognize your creativity and your truth and to express it, can also be met with a sense of diversity, different opinions, different perspectives, and integrating all of those so that you can find yourself recognizing the totality of creation, the ultimate truth. Okay, guys? Well, fantastic. I really hope that this video was really just intended for a short kind of like explanation of what's going on. There is an article that I've written for Wake Up World in the description below. Please sure to read that as well, because there's a lot more information in there. But yeah, so like I said, really enjoy this Mars through Sagittarius transit. There's a lot of spiritual healing that's going to be taking place at this stage. Really get yourselves connected in with that experience, okay? And then the last thing that I wanted to say, guys, is again, if you're interested in looking for soul guidance astrology readings, please check out my website. I'm really enjoying reading for a lot of people. A lot of people are finding a lot of connection to themselves through these things, and I've got a lot of different options available on my site. So make sure you go and check that out as well, guys. And you know, if, like I said again, if you're interested in purchasing the school and teaching yourself astrology in itself, then check that out as well. Fantastic, guys. Well, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button with this video and share this information. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.